This is Mayegun Live. Welcome back to those of you who joined us this earlier today, and to those who are joining us for the first time today as well. Thank you. Just take your time and read beyond the caption of the broadcast. Read the description of this broadcast. You should like it first, then share it to invite your friends and not so friendly friends, the Abobakus, the Ronukus, the Batidiots, the Batstards, the Oshogbo Alimajiris, the Lagos Abobakus, the crumb eaters, the crumb chasers, the ass lickers. Tell all of them and say, Mayegun today.
Glory Facebook. And yes, Glory YouTube. And yes,
Has Kolu returned? Because right now,
and yes,
the president of Nigeria is hiding somewhere in France.
and yes,
His deputy, the Shettima, is also hiding somewhere in Sweden.
and yes,
And earlier today, there were rumors that DSS had to provide security for Akpabiole, the godless Akpabiole, because of a rumored impeachment. All of that means that Nigeria is currently not even on autopilot. It is a place where anything goes as we speak. I'm actually looking forward to the return of Tinubu because of what Donyoku Igbe said. That when Tinubu returns, it's like there will be a little bit of relief for all of you. On top this shaggy, you can still use the tablet. Thank you, Motide. So they said that this is what you can use if you have any chance for it. I don't know. I think it's free. Yeah, it's called the T-Pain tablet. So to say, weight loss tablets. So you can use one in the morning. Depends. You can use 2 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, 2 at night. Or you can just use 1 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, and 2 at night. Why lose weight, Shani? Because you are being sacrificed to the glutinous criminals. Kudos to Aziku say here, right? So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Again, I'll say good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is the Temple of Truth with Mayegun Live. The kind of shege that is currently blowing in Nigeria is beyond what we used to call the Owu. Owu blowing means the hunger is spreading. Right now, it is worse than that. It's even worse than shege. Some said it is shege Pro Max. Well, it depends on which of the side of the aisle you are seated and which of the wind is blowing to your own side. Like I have said before, Nigeria right now may be a little bit of a country practicing a pseudo-democracy, something that is not real, right? But there's something that is real. It is the democratization of the shege in that contraption. 15 days ago, oh dear, 16 days ago, Kolu, the Jaga banditi, the Jaga addicti, aṣíwájú àwọn olè, aṣíwájú àwọn agbèrò, aṣíwájú àwọn àtọ̀ọ́lé, left that contraption. They said he was going for an annual leave. Person wey know they work, need to do anything. Got so tired that he ran away from that contraption because in Wahala too much, they say. Meanwhile, some said he was using that moment to reflect on his policies. So others are waiting to be given an appointment by Tinubu called the cabinet reshuffle. In all of this, he has remained incommunicado, except one Akudaya that went to see him in London that told us that when he was done with London, that was about 6 days ago. he was going to go to Paris. That's in France. Now, 14 days, 2-week holiday should have lapsed 2 days ago. But we haven't heard from the Shigidi of Aso Rocky, the Shigidi of Aso Rock. We have heard a lot from some of the praise singers, the ass lickers, the court jesters inside that asshole rock. But we haven't heard from him until this afternoon when they said the Shettima was leaving the contraption too. Yeah, he left for Sweden to go and represent Tinubu on something that doesn't really matter, by the way, okay? And then the third person in line, the number 3 person in the contraption is Godless Akpabiole. Now, Godless Akpabiole that told you that whatever you are enduring right or going through right now, you should continue to endure it. Somehow, a rumor started spreading that the Godless himself was about to be impeached. Not just him, including the leadership of the National Assembly. That was a shocker. Well, it ended up being a rumor. It never happened, so to say. But while we are still waiting for the return of a call back into that contraption, listen, somebody sent a message and said, Mayegun, stop calling your country a contraption. In case if you are new, number one, I appreciate majority of you that just subscribed onto Mayegun's Diary Politico. I think I'm going to have to write something about this page on the front of, under that name, Mayegun's Diary Politico. So that if you by any chance, I don't know what or which video got you to kind of subscribe onto Mayegun's Diary Politico. Well, maybe I should just tell you this in case if you are new here. Look at me very well, okay? And this platform as well. We do not like anyone or everyone that is associated with that with any government in that contraption. The language on this platform does not glorify Nigeria, okay? And if you are looking for your fellow compatriots, as they will say, the ones that are lying to themselves about that contraption, okay? Nigeria will be great one day. We must stay united. You may probably be on the wrong platform, okay? So number one, we do not hate Nigeria, but our reaction towards what these criminals have done to that country, I mean, sort of, symbolizes our, our disappointment, so to say. And in all honesty, okay, some of us here are actually interested in Nigeria breaking up. Do you understand? So I'm not your compatriot, okay? So whatever adjective that we use in describing Nigeria is not coming from the place of hatred, at least not from me. There are people who actually hate Nigeria, no doubt, but not me. A majority of us here, we do not, because hating Nigeria doesn't really change anything. But because the contraption has been captured, right? So there is no point in trying to be nice. Okay? So if for any reason, right, you are offended because you believe that we should talk about the criminals and probably glorify Nigeria, listen to me, you are on the wrong platform, all right? People like myself, and I can say this, and more than 60 to 70% of everybody on this platform, they actually want Nigeria to break up, okay? So it is a bit of 2 breakups, right? Number one, the Nigeria you have right now, as you know it, to us, is already dead, a dead place that is there to claim our lives. You get what I mean now? So what I mean is that we do not want this Nigeria anymore. And the only way to mentally manage our feelings towards the place is not to glorify it. If you feel offended by what we call Nigeria or how we describe Nigeria in a way, I may forgive your ignorance. But after hearing this now, it will probably be ideal, okay, to unsubscribe. It's for your own mental health. Yeah, it is just for you. I don't want you to be here and every time you are offended because, yes, you too, you are not happy.
with what, I mean, the way Nigeria is, okay? But somehow, you still have hope. Or you think people like us want this contraption to continue. That would be a misunderstanding. And I don't want us to misunderstand ourselves. Do you get that now? So as you have these contraptions, you have it now. Majority of us here, we want it to break into pieces. There are others that actually want it, right, to break into, if it's going to break into 30 countries, 40 countries, they don't care. Everybody just day in day, go your way. So don't be a unity beggar. All right? You are likely going to meet a lot of resistance then. And I don't want you to make it look like, now we hate Nigeria. We do not hate Nigeria. We hate this Nigeria. This one, they are forced on us. This particular one that is there like a weapon fashioned against the inhabitants. Do you understand? Do you? Okay. Yeah, thank you. So that I don't want you to probably be like you are on the wrong platform. You know, it is the politicians. Because somebody was like, don't let us call this, you know, don't say bad thing about your country. My shake with when you know what it is, I will cost you beyond anything. I don't have to see you, it will hit you. Because your comment will tell me that what I'm saying enter your skin. I know how to do that very well. I can get you mad even without seeing me. I mean, sorry, without being next to you. I can get into your skins like that with the word of my mouth. But because you have subscribed onto my channel, it may be based on the wrong impression. Or be your own belief. We do not love this contraption the way they are presenting it, and we do not hate it. Do you understand that? The real enemies of that contraption, they are the criminals that want you and I to keep praying for a better Nigeria while they keep destroying it. So we would rather this contraption to break into pieces so that these criminals, they will no longer have any hold on us, any leverage on us. As long as they keep this Nigeria together the way it is, it is not to your own interest. It is not in my own interest. So don't come here and begin to preach unity. Only unite. Do you get that now? Thank you. So that we are clear. It's called caveat. Caveat emptor. These rogues, they are the enemies of Nigeria, not us. And that is why we will not sell a lie that they have been selling to us. We will not join them to sell that lie. Right? Including the younger generations that are also coming and trying to understand what is wrong with this place. We would like them to know that they must not join them in singing Nigeria we hate thee or Arise so called patriot. So it must be dismantled. This establishment must be destroyed. Okay? And if we are going to still be together as a country, it must be decided by us, the inhabitants. Over 500, ethnic nationalities that make up this whole place, right? Thank you. Because as we are approaching 100,000 now, I don't want, I don't want a situation whereby we now go to begin to think, say, we hate Nigeria. No, we are not the people who hate Nigeria. Now those criminals hate Nigeria. If Tinubu and his gang, the caliber of people that make a drug dealer, a drug heroin trafficker. A small time now, you go to say, it's your president. No matter what, it's your president. Oguma for Jueni. You get what that means? Like, whether Ogun will be able to do it or not, I will still ask him to try. Go for you, go DLT, you know, go do for KTD. You know what I mean? And so if that's what you want, we can share that, we can pass that on to you. So John Toriolong, don't come here with your unity begging. Don't come here to come and preach. What do you call it? Respect your elders. You get that now? So you can unsubscribe now. Is that okay? Thank you. So Kolu and his gang, as we speak, nobody can tell us where he is currently hiding in France. As much as the destiny of millions of people has been trapped by these rogues. Right now, the number one man or the president, the man that hijacked power, is nowhere to be found. The one that the Boko Haram terrorist sympathizer, the Shettima, is on his way to Sweden, which is pretty much like not available. The third one is Godless Apabiole, a thief, a career criminal, person we suppose they jail. They wait for a firing squad, death sentence. Is now the Senate president of that contraption. The economy is in tatters, of course. Even though they are asking people to pray, let us pray, let us pray. So this afternoon, you see that guy, Kale, one of the Olori Brukus deceiving the people in that contraption. Tinubu removed subsidy on petroleum, removed the subsidy on education, removed subsidy on electricity, now turn the life of everybody upside down, then introduce what they call the student loan. And the student loan, according to this guy, is that they have received over 300,000 applications, right? However, in that contraption, Tinubu and his gang, they gave 90 billion naira to subsidize Hajj. After destroying the contraption, they decided to send people to Hajj to go and pray for it and pray for them. 90 billion. But the same guy also budgeted 10 billion naira for student loan. Borrow the money, you know, and it's going to be the first come, first serve. Also, it will also be based on available money. So one of them, that's the one in charge of the NELFUND, the student loan fund, had this to say earlier today. They said they have given the loan to 40,000 people and they have already expended the 10 billion naira. So right now they are just waiting for more money to be able to pay the 300,000 people or 260,000 people left. Listen, let's start with this.
Carefully. We don't, force people to do this. It's a big consideration and we are careful.
So in all of the 280,000 that have successfully applied, how many of them have you successfully engaged?
So when you say have we successfully engaged, the people who have applied through an electronic portal. Mm-hmm. We don't tend to engage them directly. Essentially, what has happened is that they've applied. We're looking at their data. About 40,000 of them have been approved, and we've actually dispersed to them.
40,000?
Yes, about 40,000. Yes.
That amounts to how much in naira figures?
I think that's probably in the region of 9-10 billion naira.
About 10 billion has been disbursed.
Yes, disbursed.
And it's gone into these federal universities.
So they're not just universities. So people can apply from universities, they can apply from polytechnics and from colleges of education. So it's not just universities.
Okay. So it has to be tertiary institution owned by the federal government.
Yes, tertiary institutions owned by the federal government. And as I said, universities, polytechnics, colleges of education. And the way we disperse the loans is that we pay the fees. And so far we have a commitment of paying fees of about 30 billion and about 60 billion in upkeep loans. So the second tranche of this is that we pay directly to the students an upkeep, a pocket money, if you like. Our commitment to that...
Every semester or every session? How do you pay it?
So the institutional fees are paid per session. So every session we pay the institutional fees. For the upkeep, we pay monthly. So the student will receive a monthly stipend, of 20,000.
So do you keep records of the students? What are you doing? Because definitely some students might be truants. Some, with a lot of factors, can happen. Incomplete registration by no fault of the school, but maybe the student missed something out. How are you able to keep track?
So first of all, let me just talk to truancy. We don't monitor attendance.
Or performance?
No, we don't attend, attendance or performance.
So the disbursement is also not performance-based?
No, it's not
for merit?
So it's important to recognize that what we do is we give loans based on people being admitted into the institution.
And that's the basic.
And that's the essential basis of us giving the loans. And of course, that they're not able to pay themselves. They can't afford to pay themselves. But remember, this is not a scholarship. So really, we don't necessarily look at what the grades are. What we do, and where that does come up, is that when they come to apply for the next session, they have to have been readmitted by the institution for them to be able to apply for the loan for the next session. But during the session itself, we don't actually monitor their performance. It is a loan, and I imagine that most people recognize that they will have to pay it back, so they actually do their best to ensure that they're doing the best that they can do. But this isn't sort of testing and trying to give loans to people who are the most clever in our society.
So your agenda or the purpose for which the NELFUND is set up is not to give grant to performing student or a highly cerebral student or high-flying student, but basic is to direct your energy to indigent students. Is that right?
Effectively, that is correct. So what we're looking for, and we're actively looking to engage these people, are people who have gained admission into a tertiary institution, don't necessarily have the funds either to commence or to complete their studies in that institution, whether it's over one session or 4 sessions or 3 sessions, however long it might be. So our objective is to seek out and find these students and put this opportunity before them, so that they know that the option of dropping out, which often isn't an option in itself, is not one that we want them to ever have to put up with. We pay fees for those who are interested, who have qualified to enter or access these institutions to be able to study.
So the reason why I asked the question is this. So there are lots of people who cannot, and genuinely, they cannot afford a tertiary education.
Sure.
Because of their social status.
Yes.
But there are those who are also interested, but not because they cannot afford it, but just want to try it out.
Sure.
So the question is that there are those who will need it the most, and there are those, unfortunately, there are some who will apply and need it less that will get it, compared to those who need it most and may not get it. So the question is that how do you, if the effort of this government is to target indigent students and allow those who cannot afford education to go to school.
Yes.
And the reason why some of us are paying more attention to education is that my parents couldn't afford to go to school as much as they wanted to. My mother, very brilliant woman as that, but couldn't afford to go beyond class 7. Same with my father. And perhaps the reason why they put a lot of effort, sold properties, and made sure that some of us went to school. The question is,
Oyinbo ló ń sọ, Ṣeun Oyinbo òun ló ń sọ. Make una continue to deceive yourself. Millions of them have already dropped out of school. Let's start with that one. Okay? So the GBT here is this. Before Tinubu, there was this stuff called the education subsidy. But the way they did it is not of money. They make sure that Nigerian students, especially the federal universities and colleges of education in Nigeria, they were able to have access to subsidized education, like cheap. Their tuition was very cheap, including those who are like to stay in hostels, right? Where hostel accommodations were provided. Okay, so we have people who went to Unilag, and their school fees per semester was about maybe 14,000 naira or 10,000 naira, 15,000 naira. When Tinubu came in last year, they removed all of that. Remember that one of the problems of the tertiary education in Nigeria, which led to ASU going on 18 months, 1.5 years strike, was because of poor funding, where the federal government of Nigeria, under Boko Haram, then the Fulani government of Nigeria,
FGN at the time, was unable to fund the tertiary education. All of the agreed, subventions, allowances, and other stuff that were meant to be paid to these schools, they were not paid. In places where they were paid, they were inadequate.